This roll, or the new roll, whichever you put the new roll on there, comes off clockwise, goes over the two black. Down below this, behind this is spring loaded. That piece just keeps it taut up against the back of this knife edge. And in the back there's a little split sensor. You can see the yellow wire on the other side. It's a fairly wide gap, and you can get the tape in between there, and that reads between light and dark and determines how much to advance the tape. Back over the top through there and a take up, and it's a done deal. This roll of tape on here is functioning, but we'll show you how to take it apart and then put a new roll back on. This is spring loaded. Pull this out. The take-up spool will then come off. That will then come off. You push down on this spring loaded and then pull out. It's going to come off real fast. Just to show you how it's taken apart. Here's a spring loaded piece with washers in here that ride on this plastic piece. The roll of tape comes off. The roll of tape goes on and disperses or comes off the roll in a clockwise manner. Slide that back on. This plastic piece will come off also. If it sticks a little bit, these cardboards sometimes are a little tight. Pull this out and make sure that the washers seat in this little counterboard area. The tape has to go over the two rollers, down behind the knife, up around here, over the knurled edge between this, and then on the take-up spool. So you give yourself a little bit of slack and kind of feed it over the edge of this. There is a little spring-loaded piece on here that applies the tape to the back of this. We'll show you that in just a minute, where that is. It goes in between there. And the sensor that picks up the tape pieces that allows it to index the tape is in the inside here. It's hard to see, but we'll see it in a minute. And just make sure that the tape is in between there, which it is. Get everything straight as best you can. Comes up over the front. Make sure you've got enough coming out of there to come over the front and hit the take-up spool. The take-up spool is the white piece here with a little catch on it that when you put this cardboard piece, it comes with every roll of tape. Slide that on. That goes on this, and you spin it until it clicks into its drive mechanism. You depress this and grab that leader, pull that through. And I have a little extra tape on here, so I can use one of these pieces of tape on the front to get it to catch on the roll. Just kind of eyeball straighten it out on the faceplate here, and make sure that it's gone over the two black rollers, down behind this spring-loaded piece, which we'll show you, around the knife edge, back up through between the knurl and the black piece, and taped on here. And it should index and set itself. And you're set to go. It's pretty simple. You push this piece back on, it's just a guide. It doesn't do anything other than when the tape gets when the take-up reel starts to fill up, it tends to want to slide off. So this just sits on there loosely. It's a little groove inside there that snaps in. And the taper is done. this roll, or the new roll, whichever you put the new roll on there, comes off clockwise, goes over the two black. Down below this, behind this, this is spring-loaded. That piece just keeps it taut up against the back of this knife edge. And in the back there's a little split sensor. You can see the yellow wire on the other side. It's a fairly wide gap, and you can get the tape in between there, and that reads between light and dark and determines how much to advance the tape. Back over the top through there and a take up, and it's a done deal.